Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video let's do the full review of this Realme 6, which is sort of a mid-range Android phone by Realme. And initially when it was launched it was for 13,000. Now the price has increased to 14,000 because of the GST, and now I've been actually using this for almost 2 weeks. So I'll give you my overview about this, what I feel is good about this, and what are some of the cons that I have noticed with this device. Again, I won't get into every aspect of this. Watch the unboxing video that I have posted, but if you look at the spec sheet, as you can see, the specs are very good on this one. It's having a 6.5 inch screen with that 90 hertz refresh rate, which is generally not found in this range. Also, it has the powerful MediaTek G90T SoC and also a 64 megapixel rear facing camera. So on paper, actually specs look very good, and in fact it also has a 30 watt fast charging, and you get that 30 fast watt charger in the box. So the specs are very good, but what about the real world performance? Let's talk about that. And first, let's talk about the good things that I've noticed with this device. And the first thing that I noticed is the screen. It's an IPS grade screen, and the quality of the screen is actually good. As you can see, the viewing angles are nice, obviously, because it's an IPS grade screen. And the big thing is that yes, it now has that option of 90 hertz display. As you can see, screen refresh rate. And guys, I have been using this device only in the 90 hertz. Most all the battery stats, etc., what I'll be showing you later on are based on 90 hertz. I didn't test it with 60 hertz, and I've been using it in this full screen mode. So you have this full screen mode also on this one. So navigation and stuff is very easy. You just do this for going back. And in fact, I like the fact, like, if you have the if you hold it like this, if you just go like this, it goes to the previous app. And even in this full navigation mode, it is very fluid in operations, thanks to the processor that is used. Also, coming to one thing is that this I should have put in minor cons. It has the auto brightness sensor, and for the most part I would say the auto brightness sensor works well, but I feel the maximum level of brightness is slightly on the lower side, because yes, I understand it's summer, outdoors I went, it was visible, but in direct sunlight, even at max brightness, it was slightly difficult to view. I had to just angle it up and down. So that is something that I've noticed. But overall, I would say it's nice. And yes, it's having a 6.5 inch screen. So yes, it's on the slightly bigger side, but I feel most of the users prefer that. And it's a full HD screen. So in terms of what do you say, screen quality, I don't have a problem. Now, another thing that if you notice, the fingerprint scanner is here on the side. Like many of the new phones, even some of the Xiaomi mid-range phones are doing that. And I have to say, as you can see, it is very, very fast, and you don't have to press it. It's actually a button. You just tap in and it unlocks, and this is working very, very well. So you will get used to this. So no issues in terms of the fingerprint scanner on this one. Now, coming to the big thing, it has a new UI. That is the new Realme UI. Earlier, the Xiaomi phones used to use that color OS, but this is the new UI. And as you can see, you have the app tray. It's closer to the stock, not completely stock, as I've told you. So you have the quick toggles also over here, and this is much cleaner layout. And many of you have asked me about the ad situation with this one, because Realme has also said that they'll be putting out ads. But the moment I got the phone, I made this change, and after that, now it's almost 2 weeks, I haven't seen any ads on this one. So you have to go to the settings, and strangely here in the additional settings, you have to go. This is the get recommendation. This will be switched on by default. You have to switch this off. I switched that off, and I did not see any ads. And like Xiaomi, this one also has a built-in browser, but I could easily disable it. Just go and search for default. You get the default app, and from here, from the browser app, by default it was the browser app. I just selected Chrome, and it was done. And I haven't seen any ads on this as of now. So I'm happy that once you click that, you don't get ads, and I hope Realme continues to do this. They don't sneak out ads, because I just saw this tweet a couple of days ago by this user. He is using another Realme phone, not this one, and he also said that he's not seeing the ads, and I hope it stays like that, because I don't want to make a dedicated video later on if they have enabled ads like some other vendors like Xiaomi, etc., are doing with MIUI. So as of now, the ad situation is in control. And in terms of fluidity, it is actually very fluid. The new Realme UI, as you can see, it's good. Multitasking is good. RAM management is also surprisingly good. As you can see, these were some of the apps that I reloaded, had used in the morning, and they are in sort of memory. You can say to also I check and all these things. So RAM management is good. It's not very aggressive, and it is fluid, and I feel that is due to the processor that is used. The MediaTek G90T is actually a very powerful SoC, and that's why I actually did not notice any lag, even though I'm using this one in that 90 hertz mode, not in the 60 hertz mode. So in that way, I would say the RAM management and the Realme UI is actually good. Now, if we talk about the call quality, we have the earpiece here at the top, and we just have one speaker here at the bottom, and I would say the call quality is actually good on this one. I did not have any problem in terms of the earpiece quality, so that's good. And people also never complained that I was sounding muffled or something like that. So looks like the microphone is also nice, but again, the speaker is adequately loud. It's a single speaker. Let me give you an idea. Let me actually search my own one of the videos, and let's just play this. For example, let's just play this one. I'll just skip the ad.
Lenskart.com. Download the app today.
And it was supposed to be, this event was supposed to happen about 7 days ago. The speaker is here, guys, not facing
this device, except the pricing. And
let me maximize it. This is the maximum volume.
Virtual session these days because of the lockdown.
So the speaker is, let me just get out of this, is okay. But it's not the loudest that I've heard. So it sits, I would say, if I have to rate it, above average, but not the loudest that I have seen. And now if we also talk about the network reception, I tested this one here in Hyderabad with Airtel as well as with Jio, and luckily the network reception is good. Let me just cut out the Wi-Fi, and even in this room with Airtel, generally where I have problems, I could take calls. So the network reception is also above average that I have noticed. And yes, it also works with VoLTE, that is Jio, and also that voice over Wi-Fi, that is VO Wi-Fi, also actually works with Airtel. So that's actually nice. So that is something that I noticed. So in terms of call quality and network reception, I don't have a problem with this device. Now moving to gaming performance, I know many of you were asking about gaming, but guys, I'll be very frank, I just do not do a lot of gaming. So I just played Call of Duty for about 15 odd minutes, and it played fine without any issues. I didn't notice any hint of lag or anything. I just noticed that the back was getting slightly warm, but that's the normal case, I would say, with many of the mobiles when you do gaming. In fact, about 8-9 days ago, I had called Sundar, that is technology jock, and I was just asking him something, and I asked, have you used the Realme 6? And he told me he is currently using the Realme 6, and he said that he actually does quite a bit of gaming on this smartphone and it plays fine. So again, if you want to know about extended gaming, people who play more than 1 hour, 1.5 hours continuously, check others, check Sundar if he has posted a video, or others who do extensive gaming. But in my limited test of gaming, I found no issues with this device. Yes, the back gets slightly warm, but that's the normal thing that we notice with most smartphones. Also, now if we talk about the battery life on this one, the good thing is that this comes with a 30-watt fast charger, so it charges very, very quickly. If you're a normal user where you charge around, let's say, 18-20%, within an hour it will charge fully 100%. And the battery is a 4300 milliamp hour, guys, and these are the battery results when I tested it with a single SIM. That was my Airtel SIM, and again, as I've told you, it was at 90 hertz, and as you can see, for the most part, I was getting a screen on time between about 7 to even about 9 hours. And again, I checked with Sundar also. He told that he was not getting that 8-hour screen on time, but he said that he was doing gaming at least for a couple of hours every day, and he was hovering about 6 to 6.5 hours. So I would say if you're sort of a casual user, you can easily get about 1.5 days worth of battery life with the SOT about 7-8 hours. But if you're sort of a heavy user, then also it should suffice for a typical full day with about 6.5 hours of screen on time. So in terms of battery life, I have no problems, and I'm happy that they have given that 30-watt fast charger in the box itself. Now let's talk about the camera on this one. The big highlight about this one is that yes, it has that quad camera setup. Most of the phones have that, but the main camera is supposed to be that 64 megapixel. Then we have that ultra wide and that 2 megapixel for others, depth and other stuff, and front facing is 16 megapixel. And I would say the camera performance is okay, but if you were expecting to be blown away because of that 64 megapixel, that's not the case. And as you can see, here are some of the sample shots that I have taken with this device, and yes, it can take some good sample shots. As you can see, outdoor actually it does pretty good. You also get that natural bokeh effect without any issues, even if you don't go into that portrait or special mode. So that way it is nice, but I feel don't get your hopes too high, because in artificial and some of the low lighting conditions you got to be careful, otherwise it can be a little bit shaky. So I would say, as you can see with these sample shots, the camera performance is actually good. But again, don't have your expectations too high, I would say. In fact, if I have to compare it with another smartphone with a 64 megapixel camera, the Poco X2's rear facing camera, I would say, was better. But needless to say, considering the price point, if you're on a very tight budget, the camera does its job. But again, don't get your hopes too high, I would say. Now, these were the good things about this device. Now, let's move to the cons. And there are some very peculiar cons that I have noticed. And this is one of the biggest cons that I've noticed with this device. And that is the proximity sensor on this one. Whenever I was taking the calls like this, most of the time, I would say 50% of this time, the screen used to just light up. And you know what happens when it does that? All the toggles get toggled on and off, yeah, like that. So this was happening quite a bit, and this is very strange because I noticed the same thing even in the Xiaomi's Redmi Note 9 Pro, which I had reviewed a few weeks back. I had the same issue, so I don't know why. But again, that is an issue even on this handset. So that is something that is annoying. My calls didn't get disconnected, but it is very annoying when you're talking. You look at this, the screen is on. Sometimes it goes off, goes on, and many times because these toggles like this get deactivated. For example, that's the reason if I open my Arogya Setu app, it says only my Bluetooth is about the less. I didn't actually disable it, and the GPS when I was taking calls accidentally, they got disabled. So that is something that I have noticed on this. And also in day-to-day performance, I haven't noticed any lag with this phone. As I've told you, it's very fluid even in the 90 hertz. But once it reaches that 20% point, it prompts you to actually enable the power saving mode. And when you enable the power saving mode, then I notice some UI lag. So if you are going to use that power saving mode, you will notice a little bit of UI lag. Now another small thing is that this phone simply does not have any physical LED notification light. So that is also something you got to note. If you look at the back, the camera is on this angle, and because of that, it actually rests on that, and the phone is not flat, as you can see. So that is also something you have to actually note. And also guys, this is not for regular user. This is sort of nitpicking for advanced users, because it's having that MediaTek G90T chipset. If you are a person who likes to install custom ROMs and stuff, you might be out of luck, because generally for MediaTek SoCs, we don't find custom ROMs. So these were the major cons with this device. The big highlight for me was that under 15,000, I would say the screen quality is good, and you have that 90 hertz option. I'm not a big proper fan of it or not, but again, you are having that option on this smartphone. Also, the general performance because of the MediaTek G90T chipset was good, and it's also good for gaming. The battery life that I got was also actually very good, and the 30-watt charger does make a difference. The only big con I would say on this device would be that that proximity sensor issue that I encountered almost about 50% of the time. And I'm happy to say that right now this Realme UI is not shoving up ads on you, but I hope that situation stays like that. Anyways guys, that's it for now for the review of this Realme 6. If you guys are still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video. Again guys, take care, catch you later.